Super excited for this. This is just one of those classic builds from, you know, Hot Rod Magazine and Carcraft and all that, and we're super excited to do this. And yeah, so we're just gonna finish up on this. If you guys just came here and you haven't seen anything yet, please check out the other videos that we got on the buildup of this thing, and you'll be able to see the short block getting built, where we're at right now. But the short block's all wrapped up, cam's degreed in. I'm going to try to get the other cylinder head on, and we're going to try to get the whole long block together, oil pan on and all that stuff. I'll show you guys what the oiling system is on this as well. Some of you guys might know this and some of you might not. So remember, on a big block Chevy, an OEM block, the head bolts go straight into the water. So at that point, like an aftermarket block, they're sealed off. You don't have to worry about doing what I'm doing right now. I was cleaning everything off, all the threads and everything off, and what I'm doing now is I like using Right Stuff, Permatex, you know, anything like that. Don't put just a little bit on here. Don't do one of these things where it's like, okay, that's as much as I'm going to put on, that's good enough. No, be generous with this. If you have any problems, any water leaks, anything like that, you're going to hate yourself for it. So be generous with it. You can see where I did it, the whole threads, because what's going to happen is as it goes in, it's just going to sit here and push it. You want to make sure that you have plenty of goop on there. Now, I'm not saying give it a bath in this stuff, but don't be afraid to be generous with it. Well, what in tarnation you got going on over here? All right, keep in mind, when you run a thicker head gasket, these are 95 thousandths thick head gaskets, you have to run a thicker intake gasket. If you don't, your ports are not going to line up. So what I ended up doing was picked up these 1/8 inch thick gaskets. The port became better. The bottom of the port was still dropped down. Then I took these ones off his old intake, stuck them on here, and now all of a sudden my port at the bottom and the top lines up just about perfect. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to stack another 60 thousandths gasket on the 1/8 of an inch gasket to make the intake port match. Also, one of the other things is I'm going to have to make a piece of aluminum that'll fit here, because there's going to be probably anywhere between 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch gap that's going to have to be filled. And I do not want to sit there and just goop it up with Right Stuff and have a 1/4 inch worth of silicone in there. No, that's not the right way to do it. People have done it with wood, they've done it with aluminum. I'm going to do aluminum, but just if you guys are trying to kill your compression ratio where it's like, man, I'd like to do something like what you guys are doing, but man, I got 12.5 to 1. I got, 11 to 1 compression. You can do it with a thicker head gasket and still kind of reuse your pistons, but this is some of the other little problems that you're going to get into, so double and triple check it. So now we are going to get the lifters in. I'm going to get the rockers on. We're going to go through just a quick valve train setup. If you guys don't know how to adjust a solid lift camshaft, let it be a solid flat tappet cam, a solid roller cam, I'm going to give you a really, really easy way of how to adjust it that won't take you an hour to do. Super quick tutorial on how to adjust any solid lifter, flat tappet or roller camshaft. This is how you're going to do it. You're going to go through each cylinder one by one this way. Now, this is a super simple thing. So if you think open headered, all right, always remember, man, I'm going to open the headers up. Open the exhaust. So we're going to open the exhaust valve up. When it starts to open, all right, starting to open. Now we can adjust the intake valve. Intake is nice and loose. Now we're going to go through here, adjust it at whatever your cam card says to adjust it at. You're good to go on that one. Now, once that's all set, run it through. Now we're going to wait for the intake to open. All right, she's starting to open. Now when it starts to close, you see it starting to close? Now adjust your exhaust valve. Same thing, whatever the cam card calls for, adjust your exhaust valve. Tighten it up and you're done. Open headered, close the intake, okay? That is how you're gonna do it. Open the exhaust up, adjust the intake, close the intake, adjust the exhaust. As soon as this is done, move on to the next cylinder, so on and so forth. You'll be done in no time flat, you guys. Oil pump is on. If you guys remember the buildup of the blown up pump, the rebuild and freshen up of this guy. So this is on. Guys, don't forget your copper gasket that goes in between here. Too many times I've seen people forget this and then they start having oil pressure problems. That is one of those things that could possibly create those problems for you. Don't forget it. So I've already done a flat level against this, measured from here to the flat edge, and we were at about 7 11/16. I measured flat edge from here to here, and then from the bottom going up to that. This is exactly 8 inches, might be like 7 15/16, but it's pretty much 8 inches. So at that point, we're looking at about 3/8 of an inch in that. Now, one of the things a lot of people forget to do is add the gasket. So these are a Felpro one-piece gasket. Crush this down and actually, see what the thickness is. This is about 130, 140. So let's just say it's roughly 1/8 of an inch. Add that to it. We have almost 1/2 inch of pan depth that we're going to have. I'd rather see this around 3/8 of an inch. One of the things that you could do is you could, maybe stack your copper gaskets and add maybe, 2 more and get like, say, 60 thousandths. It's about 1/16 of an inch. There's ways of doing it. I'm not too worried about it in that sense. We're just a smidge under a 1/2 inch. Yes, I'd rather have it at 3/8. But this pump, I also want to make sure that it doesn't suck the pan dry. So we're going to keep an eye on everything. But again, it's not a big red flag to me. It's as far as I want to go. We have officially now have a long block. Everything's done as far as we can go. There's a few things that we're waiting on, so we can't really go much farther on it yet. I'm waiting on another set of intake gaskets so we can get the intake on. The harmonic balancer, that is a double key weight crankshaft, so from ATI they make a hub, an inner hub that's got the second keyway on it, so ordered that up. That should be coming in. We can take that apart, put it together, then that'll go on, and as soon as that stuff's on, we're ready to put the blower on. We're still waiting on carburetors. It sounds like we got a couple of weeks. It should be showing up here pretty quick. And then linkage and fuel lines. But I think the linkage and fuel lines are the same thing. We're waiting on that stuff to show up. So there's a couple of things we're still kind of paused on. But we'll get it up. We'll get it up on that test stand so we all can hear it and see how beautiful that blower sounds. So look forward to that. So till we meet again, you guys. See you guys down at the track. Take care.